Well, DG, here we are. Another day, another dollar. Did I say dollar? I meant like 10 bazillion dollars. Getting a little ridiculous nowadays, boys and girls. Let's not overcompensate.
Ah yes, the wonders of boating. It can be an expensive proposition. I mean, there is a reason they say boat means bust out another 1,000, but let's be honest, a lot of the times when I see people busting out another 1,000, they're probably doing it because it was their own fault, and today we'll discuss that, some expensive mistakes made out there on the water. Welcome back guys to this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. Now, as we've already mentioned, sometimes boating can be an expensive hobby, and that's why they do have that term, bust out another 1,000, as the acronym for boat, but I really do believe this one, that some of the most expensive bust out another 1,000 moments you're ever going to have in your boating career typically are going to come at your own hand. Now don't get me wrong when I say that, I understand this is a boat and things are going to break. You're going to have bilge pumps go out, it lives on the water, you're going to have corrosion issues, but once again, a lot of this I think still comes at your own hand. As long as you're properly maintaining everything on the boat and watching it, you probably will have a pretty good lifespan on your vessel without having to deal with a whole lot of issues.
Tink, tink, tink.
So that's going to bring us to what is probably a little bit of a touchy subject, but it's one we might as well discuss, and that's what's going to be the most common bust out 1,000 moment in your boating lifetime, and that is going to be the fact you are going to hit something. That's right, it doesn't matter who you are or how good you are in boating, at some point in time, your boat is going to hit something.
That was their boat too, they're on it. That's even worse.
Now the reason this is a touchy subject is most people think it's not going to happen to them. They know what they're doing out there on the water. They're not going to have this issue. But the reality is, if you're boating long enough, you are. At some point in time, you're going to accidentally hit a dock or another boat. Things are just going to get a little bit out of your control. For any of you who've come from maybe the motorcycle world, you'll understand this principle because they have a similar principle in that sport, which is that if you ride motorcycles long enough, at some point in time, you're going to drop the bike. And in boating, we have that same principle, that if you boat long enough, you're going to hit something. That's why the number one rule in boating is never approach anything any faster than you're willing to hit it, because the reality is, at some point in time, you are going to hit it.
Don't floor it! Don't floor it! God dang!
Now our guy's not wrong here when he's yelling don't floor it, and this is one of the most common reasons we run into those bust out another 1,000 moments where we hit something, and that's because things go wrong, we go into full-on panic mode, and a boat of course doesn't have brakes, so the only thing we have to control the vessel is throttle, and all of a sudden when you get in a panic, you're gonna grab a fistful of throttle.
Oh, the prop. I think you got more than just a prop issue.
And what happens when you grab a fistful of throttle is all of a sudden you become a full send guy. In an emergency situation, that's probably not the person you want to be. So what you need to make sure you're doing when you guys are out there boating, if things start to go wrong, follow that number one rule. Make sure you're not going any faster than you're willing to hit something. And if you follow that rule, you're probably going to miss out on some of those bust out 1,000 moments, saving you plenty of money where you can get some other things for the vessel you might need, like maybe some lines. Thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boneheaded Boaters of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like E. DeVincenzo, Adam Coolidge, Bam Bam, CFMR Mikey, Central Florida Marine Repair, Houston Apollo 13, KJ No Wake Jr., Lucas Angel 12, and Sellin Boston did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here. If not, we're coming to steal your drain plug.